Hello and welcome to today's Hatha practice. Before we get started, if you would like to grab yourself a water bottle and some blocks to set up, now would be a good time to do so. And let's find a comfortable seated position at the top of our mats. Closing your eyes, getting grounded and comfortable. Starting to slow down the breath. Softening the face and softening the belly. Softening the jaw. And together we'll take 3 deep cleansing breaths to open up our practice, taking a full inhale through the nose. Full exhale, sighing out. Deep breath in. Cleansing breath out. One more time. And then coming back to neutral breath. And sending your breath in a loving awareness to any areas of tension, pain, or soreness. Imagining it melting away with every inhale and every exhale. And imagining that you're sprouting roots from the very base of your spine, going deep into the earth, connecting you to Mother Earth and supporting you and keeping you grounded. And then taking a moment to set an intention for your practice and choosing something that you can take with you off of your mat into the rest of your day. And once you have your intention, keeping your eyes closed and your ears open to listening to my cues so that you remain in tune with the body and how it feels. Let's take an inhale, sweeping the arms up, breathing in your intention. Exhale your hands to heart center in prayer, canceling, clearing, and deleting any obstacles to your path today. Again, full inhale of your intention. Exhale, cancel, clear, and delete any obstacles to your path today. And then keeping your eyes closed, let's take the hands to the knees. Bring your chin to your chest and rock your neck and head from side to side. Letting go of any tension in the neck, any pain, any stiffness. From side to side. I always say, releasing anything or anyone that may be a pain in the neck. And then slowly bringing your head back to center. Let's take a big inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale your hands down in front of you, folding deeply. Breathing deeply into those sit bones, draping your belly over your thighs. Let's take an inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, melting down deeper. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more full breath in here. And exhale, walking your hands towards your knees. Slowly bringing yourself back up. Let's start to make big circles around the knees, activating the spine, relaxing that pelvic floor and the hips. This is our first somatic exercise of the practice, and somatics often include anything like shaking, jumping, stomping. Singing and dancing can also be somatic. Focusing on dropping into the body, noticing how it feels, releasing any tension in the spine, moving with the breath. And starting to move in the opposite direction, making big dramatic circles around. And then starting to slow it down, bringing yourself back into stillness. Let's take a big inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. With your exhale, take your right hand down to the right side. Left arm reaches up and over, looking towards the elbow, taking a full inhale. Full exhale as you open up the heart for balancing, cleansing, and clearing. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's slowly take the hand down to the right side, decompressing the spine, relaxing the belly, relaxing the rib cage. And then starting to walk your hands forward and over to your left side. Reaching as far as possible, settling in. And then starting to bring that right arm all the way up, opening up the chest. Full inhale, full exhale. And then slowly bringing that right hand down. Let's take that right arm right up against the rib cage and spine. Left hand to right knee in seated twist. Taking an inhale, sitting up tall. And then exhale, twisting. So for those of you who cannot see what I'm doing, I'm just going to move the other way. I'm pressing my right arm right against my rib cage and my spine to prop me up with that inhale. Exhale, twisting, keeping the chin parallel to the ground. Detoxing the internal organs, taking a full inhale, full exhale. We always begin our practice with some twists to boost digestion and clear the gut so it's easier to listen to our intuition. Let's take a big inhale, and then with your exhale, bring it over to the other side. Inhale, lengthen, sitting up tall. Exhale, twisting, softening that grip on the knee. Good, one more full breath in. Full breath out. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands down in front of us, coming to tabletop, starting to activate the wrists. Slight bend in the fingers, spreading them wide, suctioning the palm of the hand to the mat. Wrists under shoulders, knees under your hips. Let's take an inhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest, cat back. Exhale, emptying out the belly, lifting the crown of the head to cow. Inhale, cat. And exhale, cow. One more time, inhale, cat. And exhale, cow. Good. Bringing it back into neutral tabletop. Let's take a full inhale, bringing that right arm all the way up to the sky. And then with your exhale, driving that right arm underneath the left. Coming into your thread the needle. Decompressing that upper body, bending that left elbow. And releasing any tension in that upper back, especially if you have any sort of pinching sensation in between the shoulder blades. This is especially good. One more full breath in. And then with your exhale, slowly bringing that right arm all the way back up to the sky. And then taking the hand behind you, opening up the chest. Full inhale, full exhale. And two more. Last one. Beautiful, bringing that right arm down. Let's bring that right foot directly behind the right knee, opening up to our gate pose. So it's like we have invisible lines from the wrist to the outside of the knee to the foot, bringing that left arm all the way up overhead, full inhale, and then exhale, reaching down the leg, moving from side to side for 4, breathing down the side body. For 3, 2, and last one, reaching down that leg, right arm to the sky, full inhale, full exhale. Reaching a little bit further, breathing into that right hip. And then exhale, taking the hands back to center, bringing that right foot behind you, left leg behind your left shoulder. Holding it here, curling those left toes under, take a full breath in. With your exhale, extending that right leg to three-legged dog. Full inhalation, full exhalation. Let's take that right foot in between the hands, looking forward in your low lunge. And then with your next breath, stepping that left foot next to the right. This is where you could use blocks if you like to. Otherwise, you could use your fingertips on the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center, reconnecting to your intention, taking 3 breaths to reset. Good. Let's inhale to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, taking your hands down, and then stepping back into your tabletop position once again. Shifting from side to side, let's make some hip waves for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back into neutral. Let's bring that left arm all the way up to the sky with an inhale. Exhale, reaching underneath, threading the needle. Now, when we come to thread the needle, it is natural to feel a lot of emotions around worthiness, insecurity, confidence, and esteem, pressure that may be put on you or pressure that you may be putting on yourself. Releasing any need for perfection, releasing any need to prove your worth, and perhaps creating space to delegate some of that responsibility, knowing that you are not alone, that you are divinely supported. Holding here for 2 more full breaths. And slowly beginning to release, bringing that left arm all the way back up to the sky. Hand comes to your back, so that palm faces out to the sky. Opening up the chest, full inhale, full exhale. Again, balancing, cleansing, and clearing the heart, releasing that which no longer serves you, that feels too heavy to carry with you and hold on to. And then slowly releasing it, releasing that hand. And then bringing that left foot directly behind that left knee, extending that right leg to our gate pose, opening up that right arm to the sky. Full inhale, full exhale. Moving down, side to side, down that leg, reaching up for 4. Finding that flow of the breath for 3. 2. Reaching further each time. And then last one, holding here, reaching down that leg. That foot faces forward, looking towards the elbow. Full inhale, full exhale. Good. With your next breath, slowly begin to release, cartwheeling the hands down, bringing yourself back into neutral, walking that right foot behind that right hip, right shoulder, and then curling the toes under, sending that left leg to 3-legged dog. Holding here, full inhale, full exhale, and then taking your time as you transition, bringing that left foot in between the hands to your low lunge. Looking forward with an inhale. Exhale, step that right foot next to the left, and then reaching for opposite elbows, cradling, holding here, hanging out from side to side. Our second somatic exercise of the practice. This is especially good for regulating the nervous system, boosting circulation with the head over heart. And then starting to slow it down. Let's take an inhale, bringing the feet inwards a little bit more narrow than the hips, sweeping the arms up to our chair pose. So we're tucking the tailbone under, tilting the pelvis and hips forward, not arching the spine, sticking out the booty, keeping that core engaged in your chair pose, Utkatasana. Full inhale. Exhale, getting a little lower. Inhale, sweeping to the right. Exhale to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale, center, moving any energy that needs to be transformed and transmuted into light. Side to side for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center here. Full inhalation. Exhale, straightening out, forward fold. Good. We're going to plant the hands down, step back to a plank pose. Like you have a tray of marbles on your back. Taking a full inhale. With your exhale, slowly lower down your knees. Uncurl your toes, lowering down your chest. Elbows are squeezed in to chaturanga. Inhale, pressing through the palms, straightening out the arms to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Let's hold it here. Breathing deeply into the hamstrings. Full inhalation. Full exhalation. Good. Let's bend the knees and then jump or step to forward fold at the top of your mat. We're going to grab our blocks here just in case we need them. Taking a full inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up to standing. Exhale to heart center. Good. We're going to focus a little bit on balance here. So this is going to be a challenge. Modify accordingly. Remember that everything that I show is just something that you can work towards. We're going to take the hands to the hips, and we're going to start off by warming up the feet and the ankles, raising the heels and lowering for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. With your exhale, bring your hands to heart center in prayer, and then lifting the heels, bending the knees, lowering down. We're coming into a toe stand. So some of you might be here. Some of you might even bring the knees down, keeping the toes curled under. And some of you might use your blocks here, keeping the knees off of the mat. If you have cork blocks, that's especially helpful. I've got styrofoam. And then you can extend that right leg, flexing that right foot. I'm going to bring myself a little further into the middle of the mat. Extending that right foot, keeping that torso up, curling the left toes under, finding a place of focus, bringing both the hands off the blocks. Tuning out any distractions, finding your drishti, full inhale. And if you fall out, don't worry about it, full exhale. Challenge yourself, 2 more breaths. Maybe you keep the hands on the blocks. And then with your next breath, start to slide that right leg in, and then take the blocks in front of you, pedal out your feet. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Full inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We're going to bring ourselves back down again, lifting the heels, bending the knees, lowering down, challenging your balance, finding that place of focus and affirming in your head. I am grounded, I am balanced, I am secure. Taking the hands to the blocks if you decide to, and then extending that left foot. Now, usually we have one side of the body that's a little stronger than the other, giving them both patience, focusing on the breath, focusing on tuning out distractions. You'll know if you are ready to take the hands off the blocks. Full inhale. Full exhale. Good. Slowly sweeping it in. And then make sure that you're at the top of your mat, pedaling out your feet, bending one knee at a time for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Let's bring the feet shoulder width apart, stepping back your left leg. Inhale, raising up those arms to your high lunge, bending into that right knee. Full breath in, palms facing each other. Full breath out. Standing nice and tall in that torso. Full inhale. Full exhale. 2 more. Full breath in. With your exhale, we're going to turn that back foot to the back edge of the mat, opening up to warrior two. So your pelvis and hips face the same direction as that back foot, finding a nice distance between the legs, opening up the arms, right palm faces up, left palm faces down, bending generously into the knee. Finding your place of focus in that right palm, feeling your power, your confidence, your strength, your fierceness building in that right palm, feeling that heat building. And then take a full inhale, breathing it in, full exhale. Good, let's inhale, sweeping that right arm all the way up, reversing the warrior, taking that left arm behind us, letting that power drip down our arm into the heart space, into the rest of the body, integrating your strength. Full inhalation, full exhalation. One more. And then cartwheeling the hands down, using your blocks if you like. You can shorten your stance here. Left foot facing forward. If you're using your block, that right block is just in front of that right foot, just a hand width apart. And then start to bring up that left leg. Coming to our half moon. Spreading those toes, curling them into the mat. Maybe you take the hand to the hip. Maybe you start to open up to the sky. When you feel comfortable, you can wrap around the leg. Holding here, defying gravity, releasing limitations, keeping that hip open to the sky, boosting your creativity. Let's take a full inhale, full exhale. One more full breath in, and then exhale to forward folds. Good. Paddle out the feet. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stepping back that right leg, bringing that left foot in alignment with the left shoulder. Inhale, sweep up, high lunge, full inhale, full exhale. Full breath in, full breath out. Adjusting your stance, let's come to our warrior two. We want to make that invisible line between our feet. Left palm faces up, right palm faces down. Again, feeling that power building in that left receiving hand. Feeling it warm up, receiving new codes of strength, courage, and resilience. Let's take a full inhale, sweeping it up, reversing the warrior, letting that drip down into the heart space, into the rest of the body. Breathing it in. Exhaling any doubts, any fears or confusion. One more full breath in. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down. Facing forward, take your time transitioning to your half moon. Remember to flex that foot of the extended leg. Good, finding your place of focus. And if you fall out, just come right back to it. That's why it's a practice. Releasing any pressure on yourself. You can also micro bend into that standing leg to support you. Taking 2 more breaths. Full inhale. Exhale, release to forward folds. Good, pedaling out the feet once again for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bend the knees, lifting the heels, keeping a block nearby. Start to walk your hands out behind you. Coming into our reverse tabletop. We're going to grab our block here, placing it in between the thighs for a little pelvic floor and core activation. Pressing up the hips, finding a comfortable place for the neck and head, feeling that deep stretch on the forearms and wrists, engaging the inner thighs and core. Two more. Full inhale. With your exhale, slowly begin to lower down the glutes, removing your block, placing your legs out in front of you. Let's take a full inhale. With your exhale, keeping your chest lifted, lower down to forward folds. Now here in your forward fold, if you have a strap, you're welcome to use it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good, draping the belly over the thighs. And then slowly beginning to bring yourself all the way back up. We're going to bend that right knee, grab that right ankle with your left hand, and then stack that right knee on top of the left. So you're drawing that right ankle to the outside of your left thigh. So stacking the knees on top of one another. If this feels particularly difficult, there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. Shifting around so both your sit bones are on the ground. And then thinking about lowering that knee down. Now you might want to stay here with that left leg extended, and maybe over time, you start to sweep it in to what we call Cowface pose. I have been saying this for a while. I don't know why we call it that. It doesn't really look like a cow face to me, but this is what it is called. So we're going to lower those knees down on top of one another, taking the arms out in front of us. Palms facing up, shoulders down. Let's take the right arm over the left, twisting the hands around, palms together, taking your thumb to your third eye, relaxing those shoulders down away from the ears. Take a full breath in, and then exhale, melting down towards your knees, draping that belly over the thighs, and breathing deeply into those inner thighs, the hips, the groin and sit bones, into the very back of the rib cage. Reconnecting to your intention and your intuition. For 5 breaths. Let's take one more full breath in. And then with your exhale, keeping your eyes closed, untwisting the arms and unraveling the legs. Bring the feet to the edges of your mat and windshield wipe all the way down from side to side. Good. One more each side. Beautiful. Extending both the legs, grabbing that left ankle with your right hand, drawing that foot out to the outer edge of the right thigh, and then maybe drawing that right leg in. Arms come out, shoulders down, palms facing up. Left arm comes over right, palms together, thumb to third eye. Full inhale, full exhale, slowly melting forward. And being patient with whatever thoughts or feelings that may come up here. Whenever we work on the hips, there tends to be a lot there for us to process, especially for those of us who are at a job where we sit for most of the day. Being kind to yourself and speaking kindly over your body. One more full inhale. And then with your exhale, unraveling once again. Bringing those feet to the edges of the mat. Windshield wipe the knees again from side to side for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. We're going to come to the opposite side of the mat. We're going to come here horizontally, trying to draw the feet to the edges of your mat. Sitting up nice and tall, and then start to walk your hands down, maybe bringing your forearms down to the mat, or even reaching forward, finding your pancake. Relaxing the feet here, lengthening the spine on the inhale, and then exhale, going a little bit deeper down. And clearing any creative blockages. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, melting down deeper. And then with your next breath, take note of where you are in relationship to the floor. And notice where you began, finding some pride. And then start to walk the hands all the way back to the torso. Let's bring the legs to the top of the mat once again. And then crossing the ankles, take a full inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hands down in front of you. We'll do a little bit more hip opening. Taking that right foot to the right edge of the mat, drawing your left knee towards the back. Shifting your pelvis and hips forward, and then draw your right knee away from you, opening up the hips so you see the sole of the foot looking over your right shoulder. This is our lizard pose. You can stay here, or maybe if you have enough distance between the hip and the knee, you bend the knee, getting a quad stretch, reaching for the foot. Now, if this starts to cramp up and you feel a nerve pinching, release it. Just stay here. One more full inhale. And then with your exhale, take your hand on the inside of that foot, sweep it around, and make some hip waves for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring that left foot forward to that left edge of the mat, opening up to lizard pose. And again, deciding if you stay here or if maybe you reach for the foot. Another option you can take here is you can use your blocks on the mid height, and maybe you place your forearms down. So you get more of that stretch on that inner thigh and hip. Otherwise, maybe you want that quad stretch. Let's take one more full inhale wherever you may be. Full exhale. And then starting to release. Taking the hand on the inside of the foot, sweeping it around, making some hip waves for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring the glutes down to the heels, coming to child's pose, knees as wide as the mat, lowering down the forehead. And again, releasing any thoughts or beliefs that do not serve you. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears, melting into that mat. Deepening your breath. Two more full breaths here. Full inhale. And with your exhale, slowly beginning to crawl forward. Let's bring the knees over to the right side, sweeping the legs around in front of us, and then finding the middle of the mat. Bringing your arms out in front of you, let's come up to a boat pose, bringing up the feet halfway, and start to lower down to your back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, all the way down, hugging your knees into chest, rocking around in a circle, massaging your spine. And then starting to bring the knees apart, coming to happy baby, keeping your shoulders glued to the mat, elbows on the inside of the knees, reaching for either your ankles, your toes, or the edges of your feet. And maybe you rock from side to side, or maybe you stay in stillness. We're here for 3 more breaths. Full inhale. Exhale, bringing the knees together. And then lowering your feet down, taking your hands by your side. We're going to press the legs up to waterfall. You have the option of either staying here or maybe coming up to a shoulder stand. If you're in your waterfall, you're relaxing your feet, keeping the small of your back glued to the mat. If you're in your shoulder stand, you're going to press your legs up, chin off your chest, hands on the lower back, and maybe you play around with moving the legs like you're walking on the ceiling. Maybe twisting the legs apart, or even lowering one at a time. Or both, to plow. Boosting circulation and lymphatic drainage. Wherever you are is good. If you do take the plow pose, maybe you interlace the fingers, pressing more into the shoulders, or even walk the feet apart. And then to release the plow pose, coming back to shoulder stand if you're not already there. If you're in waterfall, staying where you are. And then no matter whether you're in waterfall or if you're in shoulder stand, start to bend the knees. And then slowly bringing it back into chest, rocking around, massaging the spine once again. Let's bring the knees over to the right side, keeping them stacked together, extending that left arm to supine twist, making sure that you have nothing in the way. Starting to slow down, melting into the floor, relaxing into the ground, relaxing the shoulders, softening the grip on that left knee. Cleansing, balancing, and clearing the lungs and the heart. Two more full breaths here. Full inhale. Exhale, coming over to the opposite side. Drawing the knees up close to the chest, extending that right arm. And just noticing the shift on this side of the body. And releasing any lingering resistance or tension. Two more full breaths here. Full inhale. And exhale. Bringing the knees into the chest, inhaling, rounding into a tight little ball, squeezing everything together. And then exhale, releasing to your final resting pose, using your blocks if you like. Settling in if you would like to place something over your eyes or put some socks on or use a blanket, now would be a good time to do so. And taking these last 5 minutes of our practice for peace, quiet, and stillness, focusing inwards on gratitude and self-reflection and allowing yourself to rest, receive, and integrate the codes and the new DNA that you created here from all of your movement and hard work. Slowly beginning to draw your awareness back to your body, maybe wiggling your fingers or your toes or moving your head from side to side. Keeping your eyes closed, let's take an inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. And exhale, sighing out. Then keeping the eyes closed, start to bring yourself over to your right side in the fetal position. Taking a moment to thank your body for the hard work that you put in. And taking a mental snapshot of the peace, of the balance, of the stability that you've created here, and placing it in the forefront of your mind where it will be easily accessible to you whenever you may need it. And then taking your time whenever you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, slowly coming up to seated position at the top of your mat. Settling back into that comfortable seated position right where we started. Just noticing the shift in the body, the shift in the mind, and that shift in the spirit. Let's take an inhale and sweep the arms up overhead, bringing the hands together to heart center on your exhale, dropping your chin to chest in prayer. May you continue to remain in alignment with the frequency of wellness, of prosperity, balance, and peace. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. From my heart to yours, namaste.